That's what I'm taking. And what are you taking?
I don't know yet, but there are some options banding around. So there's the wargs, just wargs.
2 Warg Chieftains, 24 wild wargs.
Yeah. Then there's the
Trip to the Shire.
Oh no,
trip to the Shire. Vote for that. Gildor, Frodo, Sam, Merry, Pippin.
And Glorfindel on foot, you could probably
Glorfindel
fit that in
on
that.
foot.
Yeah, you can probably, all on foot, you could probably fit that.
That sort of thing.
And then all Galadrim, with or without Haldir.
Yeah.
And then the 4th one is...
The Wraiths?
The Wraiths, yeah.
Yeah, so probably Witch King and 3 give you a chance on horse.
Yes.
And it's unnamed.
Yes.
So there you go, those are the options for Tom's list. We want you to vote. This is going to go up Friday.
Yes.
We are going to the tournament on Sunday.
Yes.
When do you need to know by? Late Saturday evening?
Yeah, late Saturday evening.
So you've got about a day and a half to comment and vote down there. What should Tom take? And that's what he's going to take along to Finchley on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Promise?
Yes. So, what have they voted for?
Let's vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Road to Riven. Oh, it's the Shire Force. Wargs. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. The 3 Ringwraiths. Vote for the Shire Force. Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Shire Force. What's that? Oh, it's the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. And there's one for the Galadrim. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Oh, that's it. Oh no, show more. Vote for the Shire Force. 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 Wargs again. That's 2, I think, for the Wargs. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Galadrim. Vote for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. 4 applies on that one. That's 4 more votes for the Shire Force. Vote for the Shire Force. Wargs. Show more. Do the Wargs. Oh, and 1 vote for the Shire Force. I think that's pretty conclusive then, really, isn't it?
Take the Shire Force.
Hobbits will never win.
And take the Wargs.
Don't take the Wargs.
No, not the Hobbits, they're rubbish. Terrible. Awful. Awful. Stupid fat Hobbit.
Listen to the subscribers.
Smaug says, take the hobbits.
Take the hobbits to Rivendell.
Can't take the wargs. No one voted for them.
Not Frodo. Anything but Frodo. No. Sam. Frying pan. No. No.
Don't take the Wargs.
The Wargs. Wargs.
Damian is handsome.
No! It's too risky. It's too risky.
Hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. How was the tournament?
Oh, it was really good. It was great.
Yeah? And you ended up, what one? You took the Shire Force. Gildor and the Hobbits and Glorfindel. That's what everyone voted for. That's what won the vote. It was a huge majority. You didn't take the Hobbits. What was next? The Galadrim came in second, didn't they? You didn't take Galadrim. So 3rd place was the formatted Ringwraith. You took the Wargs, didn't you? Tom, no one voted for the Wargs. They were like the least popular choice. I thought you said you were going to listen to the subscribers. You said this year you didn't mind if you lost games and you weren't going to be fussed about winning and you just put fluff first and you let them pick their own. What do you think they're going to say? How'd you get on then?
Yeah, was really good. Won this?
Oh, that is well cool.
I know. Check it out.
Little Gollum plush.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a really good prize.
I know.
So what was that? Was that first place? Did you win?
No.
Did it win second place?
No, it wasn't second.
Third?
No.
Oh, did you get best army? Was it the thing with the wargs?
No.
Oh, how'd you get on then?
I lost.
You lost a game.
Yeah.
You lost 2 games. You lost 3 games.
Bit more.
You didn't lose 4 games.
I lost all the games.
You lost all the games,
All the games.
with the wargs. You took the wargs because they were going to be good. I can't take your shire force, you lose everything. I can't believe this. So you didn't listen to him, you completely ignored him. You took the army no one wanted you to take and you lost all the games.
Yeah, I thought the wargs would be good.
You thought the wargs would be good.
Yeah, I really did.
But he thought it'd just be a warg in the park. Welcome, Strategy Battle Gamers, to a GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your host, GBHL Damian.
And GBHL Tom.
And welcome to episode 18 of
The Palantir.
Oh yes, we're back.
Again.
As always, on fine form. This is 2 weeks without sickness.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
Always a bonus.
And we are here to chat you through the various opinions on what people said about our chat last week.
Yeah.
Some exciting new releases. And a discussion that's been raging on the Facebook page.
Bonus releases.
Bonus releases?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a bit of debate about whether they'd actually come, so we'll get to that.
Absolutely. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
But before, as ever, we'd like to remind you all that everything on the Palantir is just our own opinions and our own viewpoints, and does not reflect the view of the GBHL channel, at all, or
The league.
the Great British Hobbit League. Great British Hobbit League.
You see him out of practice.
No, it's because I've never said any of this before. Or anyone else in the world except the 2 idiots sitting on this very sofa.
They know that.
They know that, no. But as always, we're going to kick off with our tea toast. So this is to... It's Mr...
Generation Shift.
Generation Shift, indeed. It was from Jay Finnegan,
Yeah.
who had it last time, who thanked that... No, is it? It's for Jay Finnegan, isn't it?
No, Jay Finnegan's passing it on to Matt Davis, isn't he?
Yeah, but does that not mean we toast Jay Finnegan? And then we toast Matt next week?
Have you messed up the comment review?
I forgot. No, that was a comment on this week. Oh, I've forgotten what order we do it in. Do we toast Jay this week?
Yeah. No, we
toasted Jay last week.
Yeah.
Because he said for the help. Steve passed it on to the help, Jay
Yeah.
Finnegan. And Jay
You're
passed
an
it on to
amateur.
Matt. Yes. It's to Matt Davis from Generation Shift, of course.
Check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's
Plug.
amazing.
Plug.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of plugs on there. He's really, really talented.
Really into showers.
Yeah, he's got like
Bathrooms.
and European electrical ones as well, like the 2-pronged American things. All sorts of stuff going on there. It's really, really exciting. And it's just what you SPG fans are.
He's very skilled converter.
From a distance.
We have not prepared well for this episode.
I think we have. We've got type stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, there you go, Matt. You know what to do. We don't. Make sure you pass on the tea toast next week so that someone else can have the joy of having a tea toast. So here's to you.
Yeah. Jay couldn't remember who had and hadn't had a tea toast, so he had to scroll through all of the old videos.
He did, and which is our plan to get
Yes.
more views. So absolutely. So Matt, yeah, if you're in any doubt, just
Watch
every
other
week.
Palantir, yeah.
That's what you have to do. Watch every week. But yeah, if you don't know, then you must watch every episode of the Palantir the
Back to
whole way
back.
through, back to back.
In a day, like a Lord of the Rings marathon.
But much worse. And yeah, please pass it on to whoever you wish next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much, because last week we also had quite a big discussion. What did we talk
Inundated
about?
with comments. We talked about fluff versus filth.
And a bunch of other stuff as we wandered off on various tangents.
Yes.
And you guys got involved a lot, so thank you. There were loads of comments. So we're going to we've picked out the kind of not the best of them, but the kind of ones that involve most discussion.
Yes. Can
How-
I pause you there?
Of course.
Cool.
What are you doing?
Replying to your wife.
Replying to my wife?
She's texting us.
Is she?
Yeah. No, she's texting me. She's asking when I want to leave tomorrow.
My wife's texting you?
Yeah. We're in the room. She doesn't want to disturb the filming.
She's downstairs. Well, she's kind of disturbing the filming. Just to confirm, we're at my house. My wife Emma is downstairs. She's texting Tom. I don't know what these texts say. I think I'm going to have to investigate this topic at some length after the Palantir. There may not be a Palantir episode 19.
Sorry, it take a while to text.
My wife.
Yes. Need to say all that. Cool.
Done?
Yes, done.
She alright?
Yes.
Cool.
I passed on your
Regards.
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks.
yeah, sorry, I stopped you there.
I wouldn't apologise for that.
No.
Her again?
More text. Yes.
Yep. Do you need to?
No.
read? No.
Already there.
So, we're going to go through some of the comments
Yes.
from happier times.
Cool. Yeah, we talked about fluff versus filth.
We did indeed.
And we talked about everyone's comments a lot. We talked about film remakes.
We did.
For quite a
That's
long
very
time.
important. Yeah.
So yeah, comments. Yeah, a lot of the comments were on voting for an army.
They were
Was the
indeed,
other
of
thing
course.
we talked about.
As we asked everyone to vote for the army that you would
Yeah.
take to the Fog on the Finchley Downs,
Yeah.
which was this Sunday.
Yeah, in Finchley in London.
And
Very good tournament, and they don't know what I've taken yet, did they?
no, of course not.
Um,
So the vote was overwhelmingly in favour of One Force.
yes.
In fourth place, it was the All Wargaming.
Yeah, all Wargaming.
With about 2 votes. It's kind of tricky to
Yeah.
count some of them because a couple of people voted for different ones.
Multiple ones.
In third place was the 3-mounted Ringwraith
Yeah.
with 3 votes. In second place was the Glathrim Army
Mm-hmm.
with 4 votes.
Yeah.
And way out in front with
Way
12 votes, well done everyone, was the Rivendell Army.
Yeah.
The On the Road to Rivendell, which is Frodo, Merry, Pippin, Sam, Gildor, Glorfindel and an elf.
Or a Dunedain, yeah,
Or a
something
Dunedain.
like, depending.
So that one, and to find out which army Tom took, you'll have to wait for our tournament review. What? But suffice to say, I won't give away any spoilers, but he did really well with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be doing a tournament review,
Mm-hmm.
and expect to see that soon. But thank you for voting. Thanks for getting
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah, there were
As
loads
ever.
of comments.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Do you need to check that?
No.
Right. So, again, just to confirm, my wife's texting you and you're now ignoring her.
No.
No?
It comes up on the screen. It's the beauty of technology. You wouldn't know
No.
about
Being texted by my wife.
Yeah.
Alright, next.
Yeah, just as an aside, we got a speak friend in question style question from Majora Master, who asked if James was a fitness trainer.
For real.
Yeah.
Is James a fitness trainer?
I don't know.
You'd have to ask him.
Yeah.
But yeah, is James a fitness trainer? Trailer, maybe. I think he works in some sort of fitness.
I don't think he mentions it on the channel.
No, Majora. I think he is. But head over to Speak Friend of Question
Yes.
and pop it on there.
Yes, and
And-
Jamie will thank you for it.
Jamie, yeah, because Jamie likes to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, but thanks for your comment.
Yeah. So yeah, Larry Miller has solved our Freddo's problem.
This was the fact that we could either buy Smaug or 1,475 Freddos.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he says he's already bought Freddos in bulk before and knows you can get a discount.
I don't think he'd bought Freddos before.
Was it not
He had
Freddos?
bought chocolate before.
Just chocolate.
Yeah, he came up with a strange story, as Larry is wont to do, about how he bought 12 kilograms of Galaxy from Summerfield and got a discount. So his thing was that if you got your £295, you could actually get more than 1,475 Freddos. So thanks for that, Larry. We will try and get more Freddos for our buck, more frog for our buck.
Yeah. He also asked what we should call a fluffy, unoptimised list. Something that will specifically not work together.
Yeah.
So
Anti-cheese. And it's not fluffy.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It was like the opposite of a cheese army.
Yeah.
So an army where you've picked the things
that will be rubbish together.
Yeah, that don't help each other at all.
Yeah.
And what is there a name for that, like cheese? And I believe it was Mr. James Long.
Yeah, who smashed it. He just nailed it in one.
And what did he suggest?
Crackers.
Crackers.
It works on so many levels.
It works on 2 levels.
So many levels.
So many levels. He thinks that should be called crackers because you then have cheese and crackers.
And you'd be crackers to do it.
You'd be crackers to do it. So, you know what?
Yeah.
Well done, James. That's outstanding. So yeah, let's try and start a worldwide wargaming phenomenon.
Yeah.
If you take an army that's so awful, it doesn't even have a theme, it's just bad, then that's called a crackers army. James Long, 2015.
Yeah. Cool. What else did we have? Oh, so on the subject of the list that I took, Matt Rondo asked whether Warg should get a cavalry bonus.
Yeah, this is quite common.
Yeah, lots of people assume that they do have it.
Why do they assume that?
Because, you know, if Warg Riders get one, it's still the Warg running as fast, you should still knock over.
It's the base, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's cavalry base.
Yeah.
People, they're on cavalry base, they think they have a cavalry model. And obviously they don't, because they're not cavalry, because a cavalry model is a model riding on another model.
Yeah.
So should they get bonus?
I mean, you'd have to repoint them if they did.
Yeah.
Yes.
You spent a day using them.
Yes.
Do you think they need a boost?
A little
A little smidgen of a boost.
Tiny bit of a boost. The
we-
big base with 1 attack and low fight value and low defence and low courage is not good.
Is there anything high?
Strength. They are truly awful.
Truly awful. I should have taken the Shire Force.
Yeah.
It had Glorfindel, for God's sake.
he would have teared stuff up.
Yeah, maybe, because I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with it. Big charging Warg,
Yeah.
bounding into you.
Yeah.
Getting it. But it's very easy to swamp them, isn't it? To get 2 models
Yeah.
onto them.
They need the charge. Or they need 2 attacks like the spiders, something like that. Not the big Mirkwood ones, but the normal.
God knows they need a hand.
The venom spiders.
Yeah, something like that. So yes, they definitely don't. But I kind of agree with you that maybe they should have a little something.
But then if you took a Warg Rider, it would become overpowered because as soon as, even if you kill the rider, it's still
Yeah,
charging.
absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, they probably should. There's a few models like that. Mirkwood spiders, I think, need a bit of a boost. It's generally if you're on a base size that doesn't reflect your. They're essentially infantry models on a cavalry base.
Yeah.
Which holds them back a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a couple at the top on it. You wandered over.
Yeah, I'll meander back to that.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I don't know if you'd specifically done it in
No.
any kind of order. No. But yeah, Billy, I was wearing that T-shirt. last week.
The piano thing.
Yeah. What did it say?
We'll play
we'll
piano
play
for food.
Yeah. And Billy's kindly offered to donate some food.
Yeah, but you have to play the piano.
Yeah.
And he actually said to me in a private message that he would accept you can download like a keyboard app for the iPad. He would accept that. So maybe next week.
What, in the sketch?
What's the sketch?
I don't know.
Just you could get the iPad out here and
Do it now.
I'll get GarageBand up. Launch GarageBand and you could play it on some musical typing. Why don't you discuss the next comment and I'll see if I can make that happen.
On the subject of these elusive sketches, Lonely Brick has asked how we did the slow-mo last week.
The slow-mo. Yeah, we'll break the fourth wall on this a bit.
Yeah.
We do know there's something at the start of each episode. Just for this one. Yeah, he said we could be up for the visual effects Oscar.
I mean, you spent hours and hours putting that together.
Yeah, it's specifically the scene, I believe, where we were running towards each other and we'd slowed it down.
Yeah.
And obviously, we have to keep some mystery here for, to keep you watching, because otherwise anyone could do this. Anyone could just sit on a sofa and point a camera and talk rubbish. But, we need to keep some kind of like little mystery element.
Just a little bit.
So we won't tell you exactly how we did it, but thank you. We're glad you appreciate the work, because I think the slow-mo scene it was 73 days, wasn't it?
Something like
to
that.
produce. Yeah, we planned that way back like last August.
Yeah, then we recast the Azog and the bulb.
Yeah. We did. So, yeah, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Got your keyboard.
Yeah.
So, what we are you gonna do some live keyboard?
I can do.
Okay. So Billy.
How do I do it?
Billy Fitzmaurice has agreed that he'll pay. Give him food, and what we have here is we've got a laptop with a keyboard.
It's not a touchscreen one. This is going to be tricky. I'm going to have to actually think. Okay.
And yeah, you've got a little range there.
Yeah.
You can do a bit of damage. Something like that. There you go. So this is live.
Live. So what do you want? Yeah. This is a bit faster, isn't it? No, that's not the right one.
Turn the metronome off. It's off. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
No, you're not done?
No, I'm not done.
Alright.
It's hard to tell. There you go. That'll do.
That was pretty good.
This isn't a keyboard, well, it is a keyboard, but
Yeah,
it's
a
the
different
wrong
kind
kind
of
of keyboard.
Indeed. Well done.
It's making me press A's and G's
That's.
and T's.
I think you handled that very well.
Yeah.
I think you did very well. Billy, send us some food. I don't know what he's going to do.
No.
That sounds a mashed potato in them. Yeah. There you go. Well done, Thomas Harrison. Man of many talents.
Yeah. What?
Okay, so there you go, Billy. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah. I've lost the agenda. You've just had a big sip of tea. David Whittaker had quite a nice quote.
You did?
Can you remember it?
He said that, I don't know if it's in reference to something we said, but he said that tea doesn't get in the way of life. Life gets in the way of tea.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah, remember that, kids.
He actually asked a serious question again. What were the first forces that we had when we first got into the game?
That's a really good question. Yourself?
I got the Mines of Moria set. That was my first thing. And I also bought Gamling with the banner, Faramir and Damrod, because I thought they were cool, and a box of Riders of Rohan.
It's quite eclectic.
Yeah.
Chucking in Faramir and Damrod in there.
Yeah, I don't know why, I just really like those models. So yeah, and then I think my first kind of force other than the Fellowship then was Moria, and then I bought a Troll Chieftain. So it was Troll Chieftain leading Moria Goblins.
That's against the rules.
Yes.
You can't do that. You can't do it.
No.
Doesn't work.
No.
How long ago was that?
2006.
Cool, so this is sort of just after the One Ring rule, but probably just after Mines of Moria came out.
Yeah.
I would have thought, cool.
Yeah. That's what made me get into the hobby. Having that as a starter. So
yeah.
The Mines of
It's a
Moria.
good set. It's a good set, sadly missed.
You?
The first thing I got was when it first came out in 2001. I got the Fellowship starter set with the Last Alliance guys and the rulebook and the goblins for Christmas.
Yeah, they're really rare now.
They are really rare, yeah. Last Alliance Warriors. I've actually got quite a lot of Last Alliance Warriors. If anyone would want them, super rare pro-painted, as James Braun would say. I will sell them to you for literally nothing. But I got them, and I think I also got the Fellowship box for Christmas, the metal one, which was awesome. And I really liked it, and I went to Games Workshop and I played a few little games and a few of the scenarios around the time. And I got a few other bits like the M1 Hen set, and that was just as I was going to uni
Yeah.
and I didn't take my stuff with me, and my gaming buddies like left the hobby.
Yeah.
And so Lord of the Rings never, I really wanted it to, but never really
Mhm.
took off. And then in 2010, I think 2010, I got back into the hobby.
Yep.
And I got the big blue rulebook,
Mhm.
dug all that stuff out,
Yep.
and started painting up stuff to do the Emro Burn. Emro Burn. Probably coming to explain why she's texting Tom instead of texting her husband.
Can I get my charger, please?
A charger. Where's your
You got
charger?
told off last week
I did
for
get
not
told
getting
off for not getting up by, it was Billy, wasn't it?
it. Yeah.
He said that a gentleman would never have said, over you go. A gentleman would have got you the paper.
Thank you.
It's quite right. So thank
Quite
you to
right,
Billy.
Billy. Quite right. See you later.
It's worth pointing out she was pointing at Tom when she said that. Yeah, so in 2010 I got back into it and I started painting those things, and I was painting things up to do the narrative
The
scenario.
journey book one.
Because I had to
Yeah.
convince my friends who didn't play the game to play it,
Yeah.
so there was no interest in points matches. So the first thing really in my collection that I started painting was, I got the Fellowship done, I
Yeah.
got a bunch of Moria Goblins done,
Yeah.
and I got some Uruk Scouts.
Yeah.
And the first force I had was then for doubles, the doubles
Yeah.
where we met, because we had to somehow, I'd collected stuff for Fellowship and Two Towers Journey
Yeah.
books, and I had to make that into armies. And so it was a Rohan force.
Yes.
Kind of a mix of infantry and foot, but I got up to 1,000 points of painted riders, and which is what you played. You were
Yes.
evil, weren't you, in our
Yes.
first ever game?
Yeah.
And it was going to be a draw, and you won on the
Last
roll of the game,
the-
didn't you? And look what that started.
Yeah.
And I also then pieced together the Moria Goblins and the Uruks
Mhm.
into one evil army for
Yeah.
that, which was hilariously bad looking back on it. It was like, I think we had Groblog
You
and
had
Shamans,
cave troll,
and we had a
Groblog,
cave drum, we had a drum,
the drum, the
we had a
goblin
Moria
drum.
drum, yeah, just to get the points up.
Yeah.
And then the Isengard force was like,
Maher.
yeah, Mahuran scouts, some Warg riders
Yeah.
with Shaku, because we
Yeah.
had them from the Warg attack scenario.
Yeah.
It's literally, if you went through the journey book,
It's just all.
it's
of it.
all the evil models and all the good models.
Yeah.
And they were my first kind of forces. And then, don't know, just gradually expanded
Yeah.
into other stuff.
Yeah, but that was a proper all-mounted Rohan.
It was, yeah, it was a kind of movie themed
Yeah.
one, so it was just riders and Royal Guard.
Well, back then, Erkenbrand didn't have the big bonuses, did he?
No, it was,
Because I think you did have a.
no, it was Warband.
Oh, yeah.
It was Warbands, wasn't it?
Oh, no, you did upgrade, but you could only, because it was doubles, you could only upgrade
Yeah.
half of them.
You
that
had,
was
yeah,
it.
that was it. It was crazy. You had it was a 2 500-point
Yeah.
armies. So if you had Erkenbrand in an army, he could only upgrade the riders in that
Yeah.
army, and then Grimbold was in the other
Yeah,
army, and he could only upgrade the warriors in that
Yeah.
army and stuff. But that was great, and yeah, those were our first forces, which is cool looking back on those kind of times.
Cool. We got asked whether Game of Thrones SBG would be a good thing. That was Acthon 31.
Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
I have not. I'm not up to date.
Do you watch it or do you read it? Just not. I'm not up to date because I don't watch it and I don't read
Because I
it.
haven't watched it and I haven't read it. That's why I'm not up to date.
I can't express how up to date I am. Does that count as being not up to date? Like, can you be on 0 and be not up to date? Not up to date. You must have seen. No, don't tell me about season 2.
They're not
I've
up
seen
to
season 1.
The not up to date implies that I don't want any spoilers.
Right.
Because I intend
Because
at
you
some
intend
point,
to.
yes.
Okay.
I
So
played the board game. The board game's very good.
that would probably have spoilers.
My sister has the board game.
There's been a lot of talk about this sort of thing
Yes.
because it's a popular fantasy thing
Yeah.
and it could work. You've got a lot of heroes. It doesn't. I don't think they'll do it for one thing. I don't think they'll do another license. But if they did, theoretically, it might work. For me, it would be very historical because there's not as much as you get a few kind of gribblies occasionally, and a few dragons and stuff, but most of it's men fighting men.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like historical wargaming. So I think it'd appeal to anyone who liked historical wargaming.
Yeah.
But you could definitely, it's about the right scale, I think. There's lots of kind of small scraps. You could have duels, like, this won't mean anything to you, but the Mountain v the Viper and that sort of thing would be a cool duel, and breaking down the Battle of Blackwater Bay into a series of scenarios like Helm's Deep. It would definitely work.
Yeah.
But there wouldn't be a lot of interest for me, because you'd have to paint up a lot of men in red cloaks and men in gold cloaks, and that doesn't really appeal to me. But there's a lot of very, very notable heroes with which you can imagine having cool
SBG type rules.
Yeah, it's very like the like Lord of the Rings, and it's dependent on characters.
Yes.
So I think it could work.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people have had goes at modding it and stuff and doing it. But yeah, it would be cool. And is it Dark Sword Miniatures that do the models of it?
I don't know.
They've got a license for it.
Okay.
So I think they're a bit bigger. It's memory serves. But yeah, it would be cool. I do like the universe. But who knows?
Yeah. What about Harry Potter?
Harry Potter SVG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's got ranged attacks.
Wingardium Leviosa. Would you like that? You're more. I did Game of Thrones. Tell me about Harry Potter SPG.
It'd be a little bit different because there's not that much close combat, I guess. Unless you kind of have a dual bit and there's ranged attacks. You could still have it like that. I think it'd be cool. I think you could make it work.
It'd be very hero based again, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd
be all heroes, but
yeah.
you just have chaff like Baragon style heroes.
And you'd have Death Eaters, would be true. And you just
basically.
have school kids.
Yeah.
Generic school kids troops you could get slaughtered.
Yeah.
Like if Ed took a SVG army, he'd have like, you know, who would it be, like Dumbledore at the back with like an army of school children to just shit that are all throwing rocks at you. Either that or the 3 dragons from Goblet of Fire. Like with a goblet. Yeah, maybe. What would James take? It'd be
all broomsticks.
All broomsticks, yeah. All broomstick children.
Quidditch team.
There's something dark imagining a game. I know it's no different to the films, but imagine a game where you just get your kids to beat the crap out of each other.
Okay, maybe not a good idea.
No, maybe you have to do. It has to be licensed from Deathly Hallows onwards, so they're all adults or something. But yeah, cool. It's a bit kiddie, isn't it? I don't think it would appeal to the market that the Harry Potter. Not to cast aspersions, but the majority of the market for Harry Potter is younger.
I like the pun on cast.
Thank you. That was intentional. And the majority of the market for wargaming is probably older. But yeah, it could be cool. You can use the rules for anything. Like, I think someone, I don't know if they wrote in that or if it's on Facebook, but the SBG rules were adapted by Warhammer Historical into Legends of the Old West and the High Seas ones.
Okay.
So they took their own rules and basically then wrote them, here's a pirate set of rules, here's a cowboy set of rules. So there's nothing to stop you doing it.
No.
Just getting the model ready.
No. Yeah, exactly. There were quite a lot of comments on we mentioned the Ringwraiths in different forms.
Yes.
So I said I was confused because in the Fellowship you see them as they are, as we kind of had originally seen them.
In the Black Cloaks.
So yeah, in the Black Cloaks, but then also when Frodo puts the ring on, you see them as they, I don't know, as they should appear.
Yes.
Or as they did appear before they became riders in black. And then when Radagast is attacked,
in the
Hobbit at the start, the Witch King looks the same as the Witch King in the Fellowship, but then when they go in the final film, they look slightly different.
Spoilers. That was a great. I don't know if we've got to that. Did you see the comment from Ian?
Was it Ian? Yeah.
We went in the Two Towers. Aomer arrives with Gandalf to relieve Helm's Deep. Spoilers.
But yeah, quite a lot of people have made suggestions about this and think it's just how they appear to the naked eye. It's just the one confusing bit is the Radagast bit.
Yeah, that seems to be the anomaly.
Yeah, as in that's how they appear, but then in the Fellowship they disguise themselves as riders in black, which they do, to be fair. Which is
you said do.
I gave you a nice pun. You gave me do.
I gave you do.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Peter Sanson said he thought the way they appear in the Battle of Five Armies is what they look like in life.
Yeah.
Then Sauron disguises them as riders in black.
Yeah.
And then what you see, what Frodo sees, is their kind of souls, their withered souls. Yeah. Whereas the armoured versions are what they would have looked like when they were alive.
Yeah. So maybe the Witch King isn't. I don't know. It's just the odd with the.
That's the only anomaly, isn't it?
Unless he's not alive at that point, he's still a soul and not fully.
Because
alive.
he should surely look how they look to Elrond, Galadriel.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate answer on that one anomaly is literally they made the Witch
Creative
King for an
license.
unexpected journey
Yeah.
2 years before they decided
Yeah.
what they were going to look like for the Battle of Five Armies.
Yeah.
But yeah, a few people I think said that, and
Yeah.
that seemed to be a common theme. I think,
Yeah.
how they looked in life.
Yeah, there's a few. Peter Sanson, Farrell Hunt, quite a few. Doom Bunny enjoyed the U2 song that you provided.
What was, it was with or without
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
But what was the pun? With I don't know.
I can't
remember what it was. Yeah, he wanted more U2 songs,
Yeah.
didn't he? And he made some great suggestions,
Yeah.
such as "And I still haven't rolled above a 4," which is good, and "Despairing for Fate."
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
There you go.
You're not doing it.
No.
Where the cheats have no game. Where the cheats have no game. We're burning them all. And so on.
Yeah, very good.
Any other ones?
No, I think that was
Do
it.
you have any U2 Lord of the Rings puns that you would like performed by Damian on the Palantir? He's got the piano, I've got my voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks, they were good.
Send us in advance and we'll rehearse.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that as a segment every week. Tom plays synth piano while I sing badly.
He also said that there should be a filth tax.
A filth tax?
Yeah,
What
we were
would such
talking
a
about
thing
fluff
be?
and filth. So he said if you take Woses in an elf army.
Jamie.
He suggested dirty finger in your dinner. That's the tax.
So there's nothing to do with in-game?
No.
If you take that, he's going to put his finger in his... That'll teach you.
Yeah, and then at the high end, if you just put Alfred in without the master, you get a kick in
The balls.
the gonads. Yeah.
Kick in the balls.
Yep.
Fair enough. 'Cause that's the worst thing.
Yes.
When is the dinner there? I can see how the kick would work.
Yes.
But do you then follow them home? It's quite interesting. And actually the filth tax thing,
Yeah.
will come on to
Yeah,
something that
we'll
we're going to
come
talk about later,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe. We talked about, there was a kind of running joke for a while about the D cards, weren't there? Which
Yes.
we can't say what they stand for.
No.
But the idea that...
We did. Yeah, that is a shame that went away.
It
That
was at Preston.
that was good,
And
yeah.
the idea that if your opponent pulls out some filth or
Or
starts
It's a bit
acting in a way,
unsporting, or
you hand them a D card
yeah.
that says stop it.
That's like the yellow card, and if you
Yeah.
get a second one, you're out.
I think Sam Page said he made them at one point. I'm not sure. Or he was going to make them.
I would love to see
We
them.
should bring them back
Yeah.
and sell them. GBHL stamped on them.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, Ian had one point about the fluff and filth, asking whether certain things are actually, like, they appear like theme when they're on the table, but if you look at it a bit more closely, it might not be. So it might be like Ed's Hobbits, and you just don't spot Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
But some are more like the Gildor idea with, if you had Gildor and Noldor in Elves,
Yeah.
plus the four Hobbits, plus Glorfindel, it's kind of mixing that timeline there. It is the road to Rivendell,
Yeah.
and it's themed, but they were never actually together fighting.
He mentioned Gandalf as well, didn't he? Gandalf
Yeah.
and loads of hobbits and
Yeah.
loads of elves. And it kind of, you look at it and go, oh yeah, because it's Gandalf and Shire, but it didn't actually ever
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And he called it loose theme.
Yeah,
didn't
loose.
he? Is that right?
Yeah.
And I think he then mentioned Gandalf the White
Mm-hmm.
leading Aemma, Knight of the Pelennor,
Yeah.
Erkenbrand and Riders of Rohan.
Instead of Marshal of the Rinnemarch, you mean?
Yeah, I guess, but then also Gandalf the White leading...
Oh yeah, because in the you can't both there. Like Aemma replaced Erkenbrand's bit
Yeah,
in the book.
I
Like,
think-
Aemma was at Helm's Deep to
I'm-
start with in
yeah.
the book. and
I wasn't sure
Erkenbrand-
exactly which one he was driving at, whether
Yeah.
it was either the fact that it was the Aemma, the new
Yeah.
one, or whether it was Aemma and Erkenbrand.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and there is a sliding scale.
Yeah.
But you can sort of see that where you go, oh, that looks cool, but then you go and go, oh, but it's actually gaming.
Yeah.
Like, in that sort of situation,
Yeah.
you should be using Marshal of the Riddermark.
Yeah.
And that led me to think of something that we kind of didn't touch on that is related to that discussion, which is about using the wrong hero for the right thing. So that
Yeah.
sort of example, you're doing a force themed around the, I don't know, maybe the Three Hunters and some Riders of Rohan,
Yeah.
but you put Knight of the Pelennor in. Is that okay? Or like theme-wise, do you? Because you're quite big on your theme. Do you kind of go, no? Is Knight of the Pelennor?
I don't think so because it's the same armour, the same he's not changed particularly. So
but do you think Knight of the Pelennor, in your mind, I think the words are probably pretty obvious, but is meant to be how Aomat is meant to be, or is it like between the Two Towers and Return of the King he gets better, so he shouldn't be that good during the Two Towers?
Maybe. I think that one for me wouldn't worry me too much on the sliding scale. If I was taking it, I probably wouldn't take Knight of the Pelennor.
Yeah. But also, when you looked at an army for best army, you wouldn't know, would you?
No.
You'd just see Aomat.
Yeah. So that's why, because he's the same. But if you're doing a Warg attack specific theme, and you had Theoden in Pelennor Field's armour, that's a big no, because he's changed clothes.
Ah, I see. So it's got to be the cool model.
But because Aomar's still in the same armour, the model doesn't... It's like, I think it'd be like using the Hobbit Elrond for the new Elrond, the Battle of Five Armies Elrond profile. It's still Elrond in armour.
Yes.
So I think it's...
But, tell me this,
we'll come on
if you're doing Warg attack,
yes,
and you want to use that Theoden,
yes,
what happens if his horse gets shot? Because there is no unarmoured Theoden on foot. How could you convert such a thing?
By getting two.
Get Steve Crow to do it.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Has he done it on foot?
Yeah, have you not seen his unarmoured Theoden?
No.
Oh, should you see it? It's amazing. It's amazing, Stephen.
Well, I've got a second Theoden to do just that. Steve, can I send you my Theoden?
It's Denethor.
Oh, no, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because that one's slightly different, because that was the one I have seen that.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
And he's covered up the chainmail and got stuff on. Well done. I love that conversion.
That's brilliant. It's the Denethor with Theoden's head.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was thinking was you do the Warg attack one as in that he's got the cloak, rather he's come out of that.
Right, okay.
And he's leading them and he's just on foot, so you chop the top half.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
I do. I just wanted to give Steve some props for his conversion.
Yeah, he did very well.
Very, very well.
Yeah. We got over 50 likes.
Yeah.
Must have been good.
Must be popular.
Yeah.
But the other thing was linked to that. How do you feel about you come up against a beautifully themed army?
Yeah.
Let's say we've got a Dimral Dale army in front of you. So you've got Thror, Thrain, Thorin, Dwalin and Balin.
Yeah.
And just Warriors of Erebor and Grimhammers.
Yeah.
All looks great.
Yeah. Brilliant.
The leader of the force is Thorin.
Yeah.
Ah, see, you go immediately.
If it was me, I wouldn't have Thorin.
Now you've got him.
No, I wouldn't have Thorin as the leader.
Ah, right, yeah. Because it's got to be Thror, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
you
tactically...
Yeah, you might...
Because again, think about setting up for best army. You don't know who the leader is. You just see it and you go, that looks cool. But then as soon as you deploy it and goes, my leader is Thorin, you go, little... Yeah. Because he's so much better.
Yeah.
But that sort of thing, I remember, it's the same as if you've got Theoden. If you've got Theoden, then whichever version of Aomer you've got is going to be better than Theoden.
Yeah.
So you make Aomer your leader.
No, I don't like that. I made... Well, when I took the Rohan force, I was going to make Theoden the leader until you talked me out of it and said Aragorn is quite a legitimate leader.
For which force?
The Helm's Deep one. I had Theoden, Gamling, Aragorn.
Yeah, you could say both of those as the leader for that. I think. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see the problem with.
It's just that little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
That little bit. He goes, oh,
no, I don't think I'd like that. For Rohan, it should be Theoden.
Yeah.
I say this. I mean, you're not going to complain.
No, that's
it's still a great army.
When you set up, but if you're playing it as well and you've picked the army because of the fluff.
Yeah.
And you have Theoden and you've got Knight of the Pelennor.
Yeah.
You've got to make Knight of the Pelennor your leader. You've got to go. Always in turn 2 when your leader gets killed, you go, I could have stopped that.
Yeah.
I think you can justify it to yourself by saying he's about to die.
Yeah.
This army is literally spoilers. Theoden dies. This army literally represents the 5 minutes where Theoden dies and he ever becomes king. So by the end of it, he'll be my leader because I'm going to get Theoden killed. Then, maybe.
Yeah.
Same with Thrawn Thorin.
Yeah. But that's a minor infringement, really.
Yeah. It's a little interesting aside, I thought.
Yeah. Another thing that people commented on, there was Pete Sanson and Damian Grantham separately, who said about profiles rather being used in an army. So you use Alfred, but not as Alfred. You use Alfred as a counsellor.
Yes.
So I think Damian had the best idea in that you have him in a Rohan force with Theoden and use Grima model. So this is proxy as well. It's going way. The scale's going haywire.
We were here, but then we're here. What are we doing?
So yeah, Grima could be an Alfred-like figure to a Rohan army. I quite like that idea.
So you use the Grima figure,
Yeah.
but you've paid 20 points and you've got Alfred in your army.
Yeah. I quite like that idea.
It's like Ghost Fred, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like putting...
But I don't like the Ghost Fred idea, so this is the whole subjective thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, Grima is in the film and it's quite... I quite like the fluff of that.
Because I suppose the only thing you could argue is that you can't, in a Rohan force, you can't take Grima before he's been found out.
Yeah.
So if you actually wanted to do a themed kind of Edoras little army, and you want Grima in it, Alfred's a kind of natural choice, isn't it? And was it Peter Sanson who said he actually... Was it Peter Sanson who said he liked those ones?
Yeah, he said that the Eagles with Alfred, he didn't have a problem with that because Alfred could represent
a crazy hermit living in the mountains. But he actually liked changing things like that because he said, I think he said it tells a story.
Yeah, it's like you make your own fluff as opposed to it has to be specific Tolkien lore.
Whereas what's interesting is a lot of people would see that as forcing something power gamery into it and then making it fit.
But I think that if you twist it on its head and Alfred was a rubbish character and he did that, people would have far less of a problem.
Yeah.
So I think
it's because he's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting though.
Yeah, very interesting.
Cool. I think that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, as ever, thanks for all your comments. There was a lot to go through this week.
It was.
It was good fun.
So many.
Yeah. New models?
Yes, straight into it.
Yeah.
There are new models coming out this week. As you watch this, it is Friday.
Yes.
As we record this, as normal, it's Tuesday evening.
Yes.
And the pictures have leaked. So you've probably seen them by now.
Yeah.
I would have thought. But
Well, there's been a lot more of a crackdown on the group.
this is true.
This kind of thing.
So yeah, you won't be seeing them on the GBHL Facebook page, but there's certainly, if you haven't, go and Google them, and they're all over the other forums.
Or wait for White Dwarf tomorrow.
Tonight. So you'll see them on the website tonight.
You'll see them on the website tonight, but
Yes.
yeah, White Dwarf tomorrow.
So, Tom, what are we getting?
We are getting the profiles in the book that don't yet have a model in the Battle of Five
The
Armies.
Battle of Five Armies book.
So we are getting the White Council. Well, we're getting Elrond, Galadriel, and Saruman.
Called The Vanquishers of the Necromancer,
Yes.
I believe, as a set.
And also Radagast on Eagle.
Radagast on Eagle.
Yeah.
So, Radagast on Eagle, I think it's fair to say people were expecting,
Yes.
but weren't necessarily
No, because there was a White
expecting.
Council set. So you know why would they Games Workshop produce another? But yeah, they have done.
And every one of those poses or profiles has a model to represent them.
Yeah.
You want to know my little theory on this? Well, I think they have done it.
Mhm.
Because it's The Hobbit, not Lord of the Rings. So I think it's all the Tangled licensing thing again.
Yeah.
So what they don't have a Saruman fighting model for the Hobbit range.
Yeah.
And they don't have a Galadriel model for the Hobbit range.
Leader one, yeah.
And they kind of got Elrond, but
Yeah.
doing him as a nice colour. I reckon that might be what it is.
Yeah.
That they,
It's a good shout.
possibly. I don't know. I don't know how these things work, but
So, what do we think of the models?
Where do we start?
Start with the Elrond. He is crouching down a bit, drawing
he
his
kind of
sword.
looks like he's running forward and his sword's
Is he not
behind.
drawing it?
I think he's holding it in two hands.
Mhm.
We've only seen the one picture. There he is.
Oh yeah, no, he is running with it.
He's kind of
behind
running
him.
forward with his sword like that.
And his cape's billowing out.
Yeah. And I think he looks really cool.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, I really like that. I've never painted Elrond. So I don't
Never
have
at
it.
all?
No,
Okay.
I've never. And one of the things I was thinking of a kind of fun little army was a White Council force with those new profiles. So I might be tempted by that.
Mhm.
Him. Next up, Saruman.
Yeah, Saruman. And it's like you said, more fighty pose. He's kind of striding forwards, but again cloak billowing, and gonna either hit with his staff or throw a spell.
Elrond and Saruman really do look like they've come from the scene, don't they?
Yeah, it's superb.
They're very evocative models. And Saruman's got robes billowing out all around him.
No, they're quite. And quite a lot of action.
Yeah.
In
I think
figures.
they're cool.
Yeah, they're really good.
Saruman is a model, a character who's already very well served
There's a lot
by
of
miniatures,
Saruman
good miniatures as well. So
I think
do you
that's one of my
necessarily need
favourite
it?
ones.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's really good.
And they might. The good thing is, generally speaking, I think the models almost always look better than those first photos make out.
Yeah, that's
so,
the other thing I'm factoring. And I think the Elrond's really good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Elrond and Saruman.
Then we come to Galadriel.
Not so much Galadriel for me. Yeah.
The old War Aspect model is really good,
Yeah.
so it's hard to beat that.
Yes.
And this one just looks a bit more
Like a Trump.
sludgy.
I think she looks like a Trump. I think she looks like... Yeah, Sludgy's good. I think she's just
Like seaweed or
woken
something.
up on the side of a river and she's kind of come after you and beg you for change.
But it could a lot be about the paint job.
It could. It's a slightly interesting paint job, isn't it?
Yeah.
In that it doesn't look
It's not the old...
ethereal
no.
and green. It looks a bit like covered in seaweed.
Yeah.
And she's got brown hair, which is
Yeah.
odd thing.
So I think that if you repainted it, you could make it look a lot better.
I don't think her pose is particularly
No.
graceful either.
No. So yeah, I'd use the old model if I was doing it.
Yeah, I think definitely War Aspect Galadriel, the old
Yeah.
metal one, would be cool.
Which leaves you with a bit of a dilemma as to whether you get the set or not.
Because this is £35.
Which is, it's a lot, but in terms of how they price heroes now, it's not.
It's
a horrific
arguably a
price.
bargain. Because Tariel, new Tariel,
Yeah.
is £15.
Yes.
So a Finecast hero on their own at the moment is £15.
Yes.
A named Finecast hero for the first two films was £12,
£12.
which would make this 36.
Yeah. So
So it's not cheap, but
No.
if you
if you like the models, then it's not.
yeah, and if you're
It's
going
not
by
always-
SBG prices, it is a bit of a bargain. So yeah,
I don't think people like using the word bargain.
oh, I think you got to keep it relative.
Yeah.
People, you get a lot of this where it goes, oh, £35 for 3 models,
Yeah.
no way. I'm going to go out and buy Thror, Thrain and the young Thorin. Much better. Everyone, it's the one-off amount. It's the same as Smaug, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not about how much you get, it's that
Yeah.
one-off cost.
Yeah.
£12 seems accessible.
Yeah.
£35 for 3 figures suddenly, not so much. But are you tempted?
I'd really like the Elrond and Saruman, but I've got good versions of them.
What about if I get the set
Yeah.
and sell you Galadriel?
Not interested.
Not interested.
No.
Guys, you try this, it works for James. If you want to send us 2 Elrons and 2 Galadriels, we will gladly accept them.
2
No,
glass.
no, we don't want any of them.
2
2 Elrons, 2 Sarumans.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool set and bonus models.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that was cool.
So what? And next up is Radagast, the brown
Radagast
and grey
on an eagle.
Yes.
I'll get the bigger one up.
Okay.
Oh no. It's all gone wrong. Sorry. Where is he?
What a faff.
There he is. Radagast the Brown on Great Eagle, which
Yeah.
is a model I think people were very excited about because it was an unexpected profile, wasn't
Yes.
it, when it popped up?
Yes.
So as soon as that was there, people were like, oh, cool, that would be great.
Yeah.
And I think we said before we thought there'd be a model, and there is.
Yeah, there is.
What do you think?
I mean, the eagle's cool, but it's very similar to the plastic eagle in the eagle set.
Which would cost you £15
Yeah.
from a Games Workshop because you get 2 for 30.
Yes, but you'd have to give the 30. But yes.
Yeah.
And then it's got Radagast on kind of on the eagle's head rather than behind the wing or by the wings, which is a bit odd because it looks like a bit of an awkward position for him.
I can't remember who it was, but someone on the Facebook page put a photo up of someone sitting on one of those bucking Broncos. You sit with your legs
Yeah.
forward and he's holding onto his hat like that,
Yeah.
and things cannot be unseen. I can't get rid of that.
Yeah, and I think you made the comment earlier that it looks like the Radagast on Slave model because it is. He's
And the top half,
he's holding
holding
his
onto
hat.
his
Yeah.
And the eagle looks, like you say, a lot like a plastic
Yeah.
eagle.
So it looks like a conversion that you could do yourself
Yeah.
very easily.
And actually, I can't remember who did it. It wasn't Steve again, was it?
No.
Someone's already done
Yeah.
one with him lying on his back,
Yeah.
and it looked better than
I
that.
think. Yeah, I think so.
Um,
So yeah, it's £40 in Finecast, which is a lot of money. I think you're better off doing a conversion, getting an eagle from the set, and getting the limited edition Radagast from the Escape from Goblin
The limited
Town
edition
box.
one, I think you can pick up for about £5 on
Yeah.
eBay.
So.
And then you need to do some work on the legs. But the eagle's exactly the same.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried about this because what I was hoping for was the eagle would be markedly different to the other three.
Yeah.
And might be swooping down or an angle or something. And then Radagast would be holding on to it at the back and it would look really cool. And I'm like, I want to get that. Whereas actually I'm looking at it now going, I really want to use him in the game, but I'm not that fussed about that.
No.
And the good thing about the limited edition Radagast is the way his cloak goes out will cover a lot of that work.
Yes, no, you can cover it up. I'm just going to get...
Are you going to do on the spot conversion?
Yeah.
Is Radagast out?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Tom's going to do a live conversion for you.
It's like it's all planned.
This was all Palantir.
Yes, indeed. So we have an eagle, very nicely painted,
Thank you.
on a tree, just for bonus tree.
Bonus tree.
So this looks very... If we twist it that way for us, but it's this way for you, and you look at the picture of the Radagast, it's
very similar.
It's very similar. Are you sure that's different? Maybe maybe the wings at the top will be different.
It looks remarkably similar, doesn't it?
Yeah. Maybe it's slightly different. But anyway, then you take your limited edition Radagast. I don't know how well you can see that. This one, the one jumping with Sebastian. And you place him on the eagle.
Radagast on eagle.
Done.
Hey, it's a conversion. You will need a tree for this process.
Yes, Radagast conveniently sits in
Now,
the tree.
Before everyone yells at me,
Yes.
I'm not actually thinking about doing this, I'm
No.
joking, but Tom,
Yes.
can I do that at a tournament? I mean, just that.
I think you'd have to ask the TO.
Say you're the TO. I roll a bet that message is Sam Page.
Yeah.
No! Somehow he knows. Sam realised that somewhere something terrible is happening proxy-wise.
If you look at it from the front though, because you can't see his base, it does look fine. But
Look
yeah,
at it
it's
from the
probably
top.
no, you can't, that's just a lack of effort.
It's no different to gluing a model, blue tacking a model to a horse.
No.
Is it? So no, we won't be doing that. But you can see, in all joking aside, how simple that would be.
Yeah.
That part of him could just be glued down.
Yeah.
And you just need to move the
Get rid of
legs.
that front leg.
You really just need to move the legs.
All you need to do is remove that front leg and he can be lying on it.
Yeah, he really could.
It's quite, yeah.
It's quite a simple conversion,
Yeah.
isn't it? You could, it's literally just snipping that leg off and gluing them on.
Yep.
So I think you could probably get that conversion with a bit of work and a bit of filing for
Yeah.
about £20, which is half of the price.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of tempted by that.
Yeah.
To get a
I'd need to get another eagle.
Yeah.
You'd need to get another tree.
Yeah, it'd have to be in a tree, obviously.
Yeah.
I think I might have one lying around though from when I did my board. I think I've actually got a
tree.
spare tree.
Not a spare eagle.
No, but I wouldn't be opposed to having another eagle. So maybe.
Yeah.
Or we get a box.
Boom.
We get one box,
Yeah.
split them,
Done.
both go and get a Radagast.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
Progress.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Slayer Gaming.
Yeah.
Get a decent discount off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Done.
Find a friend
Yes.
who wants it. Get a box of Eagles. Get a couple of limited edition Radagasts, and Bob's your Eagle.
Yes. Cool. In the White Dwarf, they've got the rules for the models. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's slightly odd that they've done that because it was in the one of the previous
It's in
White
the
Dwarfs
supplement,
in the supplement, and also it's free PDF online.
Yeah. Again, it kind of bodes well. It gives me the tiniest bit of hope for other releases.
Yeah.
If that's the
If
first
that's
time
the
they've
way
done it
they're
for the
doing
Hobbit,
it,
isn't
yeah.
it?
By
So that
putting-
maybe they'll release something else and stick it in.
And stick the rules in. So you never know.
It's also worth pointing out, by the way, there's a new scenario in White Dwarf.
Yeah.
So there's an exclusive scenario.
We won't spoil that for people, but it's to do with the new models.
Yeah.
And there is some blurb around why they picked the rules, I think, for these specific models, which will be nice to read.
Yeah. So it's probably, you know what, beyond it's the best. I'm gonna say, it's the best Hobbit content in White Dwarf since the month Beorn was released, which was last like May sometime.
Yeah.
So, and don't get me wrong, that's not saying much, but there's a brand new scenario.
If you ignore the supplement as a being in the magazine,
There's a brand new scenario, there's some little blurb about the rules, and there's some nice bits of the new model.
And that's what you want the weekly White Dwarf to be like, but it's just a shame that you can't have it.
So I'll be picking that up.
Yes.
Copy of it. So go out there and grab it. But yeah, that is White Dwarf and new models.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about them.
Yeah. Cool.
So, our main topic.
Yeah, we've already been going a while.
Yeah. That's because everyone commented.
Yes.
Long comment review again, and then next week everyone will comment on the comments and it goes
spiral out of control.
The biggest talking point this week.
Yeah, it was kind of an extension. I don't think it was related in any way, but it was an extension of what we'd been talking about last week on the fluff versus filth.
Yep.
It was actually, should you be allowed to take filth to a tournament?
Yes, absolutely.
Or not when we say filth, I mean unthemed lists that are specifically designed to be competitive. So not crackers. Cheese is what we're talking about.
Yeah, and this discussion kind of started from, is it the Hobbit tabletop leader?
Yeah, the German crowd.
The German league.
Yes.
They kind of, this kind of innocuous discussion kind of started about how the key word that they used, which I think was what sparked the debate, was they used the word forbidden.
Yes.
So they kind of said that unthemed lists in German tournaments are forbidden.
Yes. I think that was maybe a little bit of a
translation
problem.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
I don't think they actually forbid them, but they award points for theme.
Yes.
And I think it's such a negative if you don't take theme that there's no point in taking the cheese.
There's literally no point in taking cheese. Yeah. So they were, I think basically the way they were saying it, and we'll kind of build the actual truth of it up as it goes, is that the TO gets all the lists beforehand and kind of says, yes, you can bring this, no, you can't bring this.
It'd be, this is how many theme points you would get.
Yeah.
And you'd say this would get 0. So you're going to lose out.
But they could also say you can't bring this.
Yes, they can.
Because their one rule, their overarching rule is that your whole army has to be alive. Yeah. It has to fit the timeline. Yeah,
that was the key thing that they stipulated. So you couldn't take Isildur plus Aragorn.
Yeah.
Bloody blah.
So it seems to be, and I don't know this for sure, but we had a long discussion about it just the other day, that at a German tournament you can't do that. Mm-hmm. Like they have they have loads of different tournaments, different TOs, but they all kind of agree on this, that you can't do that kind of thing. You can, and I was quite interested in this and was kind of asking the question. So you can still take Gimli with Khazad, a king of men with Fountain Court, Legolas with elves of spears, and Alfred. You could have, couldn't you? Alfred with Lake Town. Yeah. Yeah, so you could do that. You
because they're all in the same time.
They're all
you wouldn't
alive.
Score well, I guess, on the theme points, but you can do it.
And then what was also interesting, which I found actually made it a little easier to understand, is they don't, at least the one I was told about, they don't have then a scale of theme points. They have 0 or 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they were saying like, okay, you can bring this because they're all alive, but you're going to get 0 theme points. Yeah. Or, that's fine, you get 100. Which makes it a lot easier because it becomes less subjective. Yeah. It's obviously still subjective because it's down to the TO, but they were saying that this isn't themed. Yeah. Bring it if you want, but you're going to get no theme.
I don't know how many points that's equivalent, but let's say a whole win.
It was 15% of your tournament score.
Okay, well, that's still a reasonable amount.
It would make a difference. Yeah. They said it's deliberately enough to make a difference of whether you would win or not. But crucially, if your army is themed, so it's all alive at the same time, and it doesn't look like you've gone overboard on the cheese, you get 100 and you carry on. Yeah. And obviously exactly where there is some sort of scale, because at some point, I used the example that I don't actually think it got referenced of, you start off with Ugluk and 12 scouts, and Gorbag Grishnak, sorry,
Yeah.
and 12 orcs.
Yeah.
Very, very themed.
Yeah.
100 points.
Yeah.
You then go for Ugluk, 11 scouts, and 1 feral Urukai,
Yeah.
who's his bodyguard,
Yeah.
and Grishnak, 11 orcs, and 1 black guard, who's his bodyguard.
Yeah.
Probably 100 points.
Yeah.
And then you go to Ugluk, 12 feral Urukai,
Yeah.
Grishnak, 12 black guard, and at some point
Yeah.
that became 0.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of grey area,
Yeah.
which I think kind of
But at least
makes
you
it
send
murky.
you send your list to the TO in advance, and they so you're never going to rock up and then be kind of horrified one way or the other.
yes. I
But it's a
that's
lot
the-
of work for the TOs.
Yeah, I mean that's the important thing, that you know in advance before
Yeah.
you book your ticket. You
Yeah.
know, and it sounds like this is the way their whole
Yeah.
kind of tournament scene was. So
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. What I also like the idea of is that apparently, and I think they said this has never happened,
Yeah.
but they can then appeal
Yeah.
to the forum.
Yeah.
So if the TO says no theme, they can kind of put it online and
Yeah.
say I think this is themed, and then basically everyone else
Yeah.
votes on it.
Yeah. Which is
about,
quite nice.
which is cool because it also then means that they know what they're. I think maybe the surprise listing isn't as big a deal over
No.
there, or maybe it is as long as you've got a themed list.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that as an idea?
It's quite interesting because they also play Good versus Evil most of the time. I know I think in the UK it's really from the point of view of people may not have 2 armies, and to encourage new players to come to tournaments you don't want to ask for 2 armies, plus the logistics of it, bringing 2 armies is a bit of a pain.
And because you have to swap, keep them out on the tray.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Sterling because it's the only one we've got over here that's Good versus Evil, but that whole kind of having 2 armies at the same time is a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
It's not a huge thing, but
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It'd be nice to have a mix of tournaments that some are designed where people take themed lists, and some are designed where you can take what you want.
I know that
I think there's a place for both. I mean, I think different people get different things out of the game, and you can't really isolate one group.
yeah, I think I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think Jamie said that things like theme and painting and sportsmanship, he calls them like soft scores.
Yeah.
And he thinks they shouldn't influence the result of the tournament.
Mhm.
I think his opinion was those points should then be used as a tiebreaker potentially.
Yeah.
But I quite like it. As you say, not for everything, but when they said, by the time we got through it all, and it was Timo, I think, who explained that basically in this tournament there are 3 things, and you know this in advance. Either it's awful, so you can't bring it, or you can bring it, but you lose some points, or you go away and you change it, and then you can bring it and you get all your points. Everyone's on the same page, and I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No.
Like as the idea that this tournament, I'm going to bring a perfectly themed.
It wouldn't stop me from going to a tournament at all, and it will make play. I think people who like bringing filth will still enjoy the challenge of having to build within the constraints of that rules pack.
Yeah, exactly. Because you've got to build a competitive army that is themed.
So you'd probably naturally gravitate towards elves, but there are definitely other themed lists that could do very well.
That's the other thing, that there's still, I think I was chatting to Jamie about it last night, there are still very, very, very powerful builds that are utterly themed. So like
the
pure
Fell
wood elves.
Beasts.
Yeah, the Fell Beast, of course. It's perfectly themed.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful. Pure wood elves.
Yeah.
Is incredibly. But the
Pure
crucial thing, I
if
think,
you go revisit them.
they're the German guys. They're not trying to stop power gaming.
No.
They're trying to stop unthematic armies.
Yes.
They're not saying don't bring a competitive army.
Yeah.
They're saying don't bring 2 guys who weren't alive at the same
I think
time.
the difficulty comes in when you start doing the your own fluff backstory. When you say Alfred, I'm using this model to represent I'm using the profile rather than the specific character.
Yeah.
But I mean I don't. I like themed armies. I prefer playing against themed armies, but I wouldn't refuse to play against them.
I fundamentally believe that if the rules pack's all there, I'll probably go to anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm not. It's like if it was utterly mad, I might go to it because you all know in advance of what you're doing. And if there was one tournament that encouraged people to bring themed armies, and the more themed your army was, the more likely you were to win the tournament. I think that's a good thing. Yeah. It's not for everyone, obviously,
no. But you know in advance, and you know if you want to come, you can come.
Yeah, and I quite liked it. I mean, other things I was chatting to Jamie about were the potential of players voting on theme in the way you vote for best army.
Yeah, though it can still be kind of gamed a little.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the kind of
if it goes towards the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's always going to be, even if it was on the first day, the guys who were there to win it would know who the other guys were there to win it, and that you're not going to vote for them, are you? You'd like to think you would, but probably not. So it is open to some sort of abuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there was a lot lost in translation to begin with.
Yeah.
But actually, I didn't think it was a bad idea.
No, and we might have some small plans around that.
Yes, we no one panic.
Yeah.
But there will be we're obviously running a tournament. I think we've started to kind of promote this a little now.
Yeah.
It will be Titans Wargames Club in May. The rules pack will be coming soonish.
Yes.
And there will be an incentive.
Yeah.
There'll be an incentive to have a themed army. It's only an 80-point tournament.
Yeah, and we're not stopping you. You can bring whatever you want.
Yeah.
But there'll be a small incentive.
Yeah.
It's not huge.
Because we're both fans of themed armies, and it's doubles, which promotes alliances.
Yeah.
And it's only worth 80 points towards the league, not 100. And I think it's a good chance for people to hopefully have a bit of slightly more relaxed fun building their lists.
Yes.
And trying to find different armies that are competitive potentially. So cheers to the German guys. I know it was Timo and Marcel, I think in particular, that were kind of arguing their case and explaining their case, and it was a long old thread.
But yeah, it's interesting seeing the kind of the slight shift in how the game is played, or how it's thought about in Germany relative to the UK.
Yeah, because it's interesting. That's obviously is a cultural thing. Like out there, that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
which is very, very interesting. I think.
I think what's kind of stopped it going that way in the UK is we have the Games Workshop tournaments, and people have turned up to Games Workshop tournaments with filth or with unthemed lists, and Games Workshop haven't said, well, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you're quite right. That probably is it.
So I think that back in the day when they had the grand tournaments, it was a big thing to win one of those.
Yeah.
So people wanted to take lists that would win it.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And the idea of tournaments is always about there's some element of having a winner.
You can't get away from that. You just, if you don't want there to be some competitiveness, you have an event rather than the tournament, and you have specific scenarios. But there's no winner.
Yeah.
And there's no prizes for winning.
Yeah. But,
it was an interesting one.
You got a prize recently for not winning, didn't you?
Yes. What I was going to say is that I don't... I know Jamie doesn't think the soft skills should count towards necessarily, but I do like the idea that sportsmanship gives you some points. That...
Yeah, I'm not...
The most sporting... And I know again you can say the top player can game it, but I think, if everyone tried it'd give a little incentive for people to be more sporting during the games.
No, I agree. Again, I don't think it's for everything, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
And again, if it's in the rules pack, it's like, right, great, well, I'm going to that tournament, and that's how that tournament is doing it.
Yeah.
And fair enough.
Yeah.
So, incidentally, I didn't think about mentioning this, we mentioned in the SBG raffle video that we only had under 20 copies left.
Yeah.
We went to the tournament as expected, and it was very popular, so thanks to everyone who donated to us there. And we now have, I think, 4 copies left.
Yes. Yeah, 4.
So there are 4 physical copies of SBG left in this universe.
You just wait till they get on eBay.
Price is going to rocket. We don't know if we're getting another print run. So if you did want to get yourself one of them, we might get another print run.
Yeah, it depends how many people.
I'm not trying to con you here.
No.
But if you want to guarantee yourself a copy of the first issue,
I don't know how long
we do have to print them in bulk, and it is a sizable amount of money to print them.
So thanks to everyone who supported us. But there's only a few copies left if you did want to get hold of one.
Yes. So I think we've promoted ourselves well enough with the tournament and with the flag.
As I said, look out for that tournament. We're quite excited about it. It's the first one we've run.
Yeah.
I think we've got some nice twists on it.
Yes.
And you'll be hearing more about that from us in the coming weeks.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about fluff and filth recently. So
let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you want us to talk about next week.
Yes, absolutely.
If there's anything, if you want to kind of stray away from that for a bit, because we've been quite a long way down that path now.
Can't even see the house.
No. Cool. Are we done?
I think we're done.
Hey.
As ever, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
And like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Support your Hobbit hobby.
And happy strategy battle gaming, guys.